If you're trying to figure out how to find a real estate agent for yourself, whether you're a veteran or brand new at buying real estate, then I'm going to give you 10 questions to ask in that process. And I'm going to do it right now. Hi everybody, my name's Ty Eden. I'm a realtor with Exit Realty Redefined in Wheaton, Illinois. I've been a realtor for about 2 years, and I work with buyers, sellers, and investors in the DuPage County and really the Northern Illinois, Greater Chicagoland area. And in this video, I'm going to give you 10 questions that you should ask any realtor or real estate broker that you're considering to hire, whether you're looking to buy property or you're looking to sell property, because the questions are really going to go either direction. So the first thing you want to do is you want to start asking friends and family and maybe neighbors, even if you're renting, if they know of any realtors that they've had any experience with, or maybe they've had friends that have had experience with. So you want to engage those people and start asking enough questions around to enough people. If you do it long enough, you'll start coming up with some similar names. And then you want to get the contact information for those folks that are the similar names and reach out to them, set up an appointment, a face-to-face appointment, because I tell you what, this transaction is too big for you to just try and qualify these folks over the phone. You want to see eye to eye with them. Question number one when you're sitting in front of that realtor in your interview process is, how long have you been a realtor? How many years have you been in the real estate business? Now, the number of years aren't necessarily going to end up equating to success. See, real estate is a commission-based job or profession or career. So if they've gone for a long amount of time, a number of years, and haven't had too many transactions, then they may not be your best choice for a realtor. It all depends on if they're taking this game seriously or if it's just kind of a side hobby that they do just to collect some extra money. What you want to be most concerned about with that question is the level of service that they're going to be able to provide for you and the level of knowledge that they have in the real estate business, whether they're representing you as a buyer, a seller, or an investor. Question number two, what's your average number of clients? Or to be a little bit more blunt, if they're really busy, do you have time for me? What you're looking for with a realtor is, are you the only client that they deal with, or are they part of a bigger team and they've got so many clients that you may end up being in the middle of the pack or the bottom of the pack and may not have that importance. And I tell you what, when you're looking to either buy or sell a property for yourself, you want to feel important. So you want to know that you're important to that realtor and that they're going to maintain you as being number one importance in their eyes, their mind, and they're going to work hard for you. When you're sitting down with them and talking about whether or not they have enough time, are they part of a team? And I'll go into that in another couple of steps. But if they have team members that are going to work with you and you end up liking that realtor enough, you want to end up going and meeting those team members. And again, I'm going to talk about that in another couple of points after this. Question number three, what's your ratio of buyers to sellers? See, in this game, this real estate game, you have certain realtors that are more buyer representative, and then you have some realtors that are seller representative. Now, to you, unless you live in the business, may not understand that there's a lot of a difference between the two types of roles that realtors can play. If you're dealing with just strictly a buyer representative and you're selling a piece of property, are they really going to understand everything that you're going through and all the nuances that you have as far as selling your house, and vice versa as well? If you're looking to buy and you're dealing with the seller representative, are they really going to be able to fit themselves into your shoes and understand where you're at? Now, it very well may be true that there are some realtors out there, some brokers out there, that are equally attacked to be able to help you whether you're buying real estate or selling real estate, but that's why you're interviewing them, to find out what kind of ratio they have. Do they have team members that do this? Because more often than not, you're going to end up finding yourself selling a piece of property, because the average amount of time folks live in a house is about 7 years, more or less. So if you're selling a property, you're going to probably move into buying a property. And if that's the case, in order to make the whole transition seamless, you kind of want to have the same realtor working with you to help you sell the property and to help you buy the property. then you're not having to get to know two different people, go through two different processes, two different systems, and now they're both contacting you about different things. One conversation, one realtor for both, and there are those realtors out there. What area do you cover? That's an important question because there are going to be a lot of realtors that are neighborhood experts, and then there's going to be realtors that'll travel across the country just to sell you a piece of property. They don't know much about the area, but they want to get a transaction done. So there's good and bad to both those two scenarios. So you want to try and find somebody that's a little bit more in the middle. Across the country is too far. A neighborhood expert is fine, but what if that neighborhood expert doesn't know much about the surrounding areas to what they're the expert in? They might be pushing you into a particular property that maybe you're not the most comfortable with or isn't really the best fit, where there might be some houses surrounding that particular neighborhood that is the best fit for you. So you want to find a realtor that knows a bigger area than just a neighborhood. And that way they can very easily direct you to a particular spot, neighborhood, town, village that is more of a better fit for you. Okay, number 5. Are you part of a team? Now, teams are probably pretty good because the person that put the team together was obviously a successful realtor, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good business person. They may be great at sales, but are they good at providing service and managing other team members? And why this is important is generally when there's a team that's put together, that means they've got a number of brokers that are seller representatives, and they have a number of brokers that are buyer representatives. Each one of those two are probably very good in their particular representation. So if you're sitting down across the table from the person who is the one that created the team, are you going to be dealing with that person from that point on to when you get handed the keys to the property if you're buying it? Or are you going to be dealing with that same person when you finally move the last box out of your house and the transaction's all done? More often than not, they may have you move around to a couple of other realtors within their team. And if that's the case, and you're comfortable with that main team lead person, then you might want to insist that you also are introduced to any other team members that you're going to have to deal with or find yourself dealing with through the process, unless they volunteer those people to you. The last thing you want to do is find yourself in an emotional situation and all of a sudden you're dealing with a different realtor than the one that you sat down at the kitchen table with and signed that listing contract or signed that buyer representation contract with. You want to know who you're dealing with because buying real estate is emotional. Number six. Are you equipped to handle my unique situation? Are you a long-term investor? Or are you just a standard buyer? Are you a first-time home buyer? Are you a fix and flipper? Or do you find yourself being an executor to a estate of maybe your Aunt Sally's, and now you got to deal with selling her home that she's been living in for the past 35 years? These are just a few of the unique situations that people can find themselves in when they're looking to either buy or sell real estate. And when you're talking with that realtor, you might want to ask them what type of experience they've got dealing with your unique situation. Don't be fooled if they say, I've dealt with that before, no problem. Ask that agent what type of unique issues that they've dealt with in your situation and how did they go about handling that unique situation. That'll give you a great insight as to whether they do have experience dealing with someone such as yourself, your unique situation, or not. This is something I am adamant about, and I don't know how many people, other realtors are, and it's true in any kind of business that you deal with, but what is the communication channel and method that that realtor is going to have with you as their client? Be you a buyer, a seller, an investor. Have them tell you how they're going to go about reaching out to you. There's so many different methods these days with email, text messaging, telephone. Telephone? What's a telephone? Some realtors, all they do is they just text message. Or they might just do an email. And you might hear from them from time to time, but is it going to be on a regular basis? I'm a big advocate of reaching out to you every week, whether I've got something to tell you or I don't. I'm interested in reaching out to you every single week because I want to make sure that you're seeing every house as a buyer that you can possibly see, or I'm wanting you to know exactly what activity there is or isn't as far as showings are concerned, or possible interested parties on your house. So that way we can try and change what the deal is and try and get your home sold within the time period that you're expecting to have the house sold under. If you get a wish-washy answer from the realtor as far as their communication method or frequency, that might not be the person for you. Now, whether you're buying, investing, or selling a house, you might want to find out if the realtor has some type of a recommended vendors list. An experienced realtor is going to have a qualified vendor list that they will have developed over a period of time, and that's going to be home inspectors, title companies, attorneys, contractors. According to the Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, a realtor should be giving you 3 names for any one classification of a referral in order to allow you the freedom of choice in order for you to be able to deal with that contractor, that title company, or that professional that you choose you want to deal with. Don't settle on just one name and number. References is always the biggest. For anyone that's been in any kind of business for a period of time, they're going to have references. But are they really going to give you a bad reference? Chances are no. But you can always ask for, let me have 2 references that are good references, obviously, but I also want a 3rd reference of someone that the deal kind of started to go south, able to rescue the deal and bring it to a happy close at the end of the deal. A realtor is able to do that is a king or queen. And here's the most important question of all. What questions do you have of me? And that's what you want to ask the realtor when you're sitting down with them. And the types of questions that they ask is going to really give you an insight as to whether or not they're just a transaction-based realtor. They really don't have a lot of interest in what your concerns and cares and so forth may be, or what your plans and dreams are. There are those realtors that are going to ask you those types of questions because they want to get down to the root of what makes you tick. And if you find yourself a realtor asking those kind of questions, that's a relationship realtor. That's a realtor that you want to deal with. I hope that these 10 points were beneficial to you, that you can utilize them. I will have listed them in the show notes at the bottom of this video in order for you to possibly write them out. They are very important, they're rather thorough, and you really should be interviewing a realtor as though you're hiring an employee or you're looking for somebody that's going to take care of a family member. You really want to know what they're all about. Because again, a real estate transaction has a lot of emotion attached to it, and you want to try and minimize that drama and that emotion as much as you can, and have a realtor that's going to give you that great bedside manner that you deserve as their client. Again, my name is Ty Eden. I'm with Exit Realty Redefined in Wheaton, Illinois. So give me a call if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. I'd be happy to help you out. Thank you. Or do you find yourself an executor to a estate, the freedom of choice in order for you to ask you those kind of dreams